I'm going to watch the replays because I think this will definitely fall in line with just the whole theme of this summit and this bundle. I'm actually going to do some shout outs for folks. So quickly, I'm Alicia. I call myself a previously burned out therapist. So I've worked in several different agencies and community mental health, and I've been burned out, thought about leaving the field. And now I'm able to run two successful businesses. I still do private practice therapy and I do coaching. And so, despite running two businesses and I do this all on my own and I'm doing all the things, I actually have more time to do my hobbies, to see my friends and family, to take vacations. And I love empowering other people to do the same because I believe that we can give and be helpers and not sacrifice ourselves. So, I'm hoping that you guys can get a few tidbits so you guys can keep doing the amazing work that you guys do. So, what does burnout have to do with content marketing? I think a lot of times we think of it about our jobs or the household chores that we do, but really I want us to think about what burnout is. Burnout to me is the emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that we all feel. And we can feel that over anything. We can get burned out sometimes when we see certain people. We can get burned out with our home life. We can get burned out parenting. We can get burned out anything about our jobs. And a lot of us, my guess is we don't have formal marketing or business training. If you do, that's wonderful. But a lot of us, we have a passion, we have skills, we have knowledge, and want to help people with that. And we are doing the best that we can. And there's so many things out there that we want to do and we want to try, and we're doing our best, and it doesn't always work out. And then we get disappointed, we can get helpless, we can get stuck, we can get overwhelmed, and burnout can happen. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. I want you guys to sell your services and your products and to be this amazing thing that you can do in people's lives without sacrificing yourself. So I know there's just a few folks here, but I always like to just do like a little check-in on just what people's level of comfort is with content marketing. I really like to personalize things and examples. So if you have any just like thoughts of where you're stuck or where your comfort level is, feel free to drop that in the comments. So I'm going to go through this quickly, mainly because I'm going to run through all of this, but I like to talk about myths. And I heard the last part of the previous presentation. And so I think if you're watching the replays, I think a lot of these are going to have a really common thread, but you don't need to do all the things. With content marketing, there's so many amazing options for ways to get your name out there and to connect with people. And they all work, honestly. Like if you do social media, you can get success with that. If you do LinkedIn, you can get success with that. If you do content creation on Canva, you can have success with that. But you don't have to do all of those. And so the point of, I think, this summit that I think Val is being really intentional about is picking a few things that work for you. And I think we know this, logically, we know this. And then we watch a cool training and we're like, oh my God, this sounds so fun. I want to do this. And we feel pressure and we get excited and we get eager. And we need to remind ourselves that we don't have to do all the things. Don't need shiny object syndrome where we just want to do all the things. And again, we know what works for one business isn't going to work for all. I think logically we can tell ourselves this. And then when we see someone say, oh my gosh, I just sold 4 things when I just posted an Instagram reel, and then you post an Instagram reel and nothing happens, what happens? We feel bad. We're like, well, what the heck? Why is this working for this person, but it's not working for us? And I kind of already hinted at the last one. You don't need to have any formal training, marketing, and business. You know your pain points of your audience. You know the skills and services you have and you can offer. That's going to be enough. It's nice if you have the training, but it's not required to be a kick butt entrepreneur. So the 3 things that I'm going to focus on is how can we create burnout, or how can we prevent burnout? Oh my gosh, I'm not trying to create burnout for anyone. This isn't going to necessarily talk about marketing strategy. I think there's other amazing offers in the bundle. I'm going to shout out one of them. It's called How to Avoid Content Marketing Funk. That one I think also talks about like a foundation, but I think there's a little bit more strategy with that as well. It's an entire like course. So you're gonna get a lot more than 25 minutes. I don't remember her name, so sorry to put Val on the spot. If you remember who the author is of that, she also did a speech earlier today.
It's Dr. Yam. She's in the room. So
oh my gosh. Starstruck. I'm like, I enrolled in that one because I'm like, this fits really well with my project. So yes, go check out that. I think it's gonna be incredible. When we're talking about creating this foundation, I really like to focus on our goals, our strengths, and joy. So, what do I mean by that? We want to always be grounded in our goals with marketing. Our goals are going to help us make decisions, and we have a lot of decisions to make when we're thinking about marketing. And instead of saying, hey, I saw this thing that worked for someone else, I want to do this, I want us to always remember, is this going to get me where I want to go? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I always suggest short and long term goals because I'm a business owner as well. I know a lot of our goals are to make money, to sell products, to get people in my membership. I'm not naive to that. We've got bills to pay, we've got vacations to do. But what else, right? We all want to make a livable wage and make money so we can do the things we want to do. But let's think of secondary goals then, maybe as well. Can we think about, do I want to build an audience? Do we want to collaborate more? Do we want to get in front of other people's audiences? Do I want to try new income streams because maybe I'm noticing a lag with one of mine and I want to kind of diversify? Those types of goals are going to be able to help us make those decisions on what do I need to do? What do I need to change? And it just helps us always feel grounded rather than feeling overwhelmed and, oh my gosh, I have so many options. I don't know what to do. And whenever I think about goals, I always keep three things in mind. You or me, because we are a business. If I'm not feeling good about something, my guess is it's not going to sit well with me and I'm not going to really enjoy doing it. I also have to be realistic about my business. I'm a solo business. My decisions are going to be very different than someone who has a team of 10 people or 50 people. So I always have to ground myself with what makes sense for me and my business and my audience. What works for one person's audience may not work for my audience. And so I always ground myself in those core things. And it tends to make the decision making a little bit easier. So, if you're around and want to share, what are some of your business goals? It could be things that you've already talked about. We're in September, we're in quarter 3 of the year, so maybe you already have some business goals. Maybe you don't. And maybe you're thinking, hey, I have this goal to do this by the end of the year. I would love to hear it. If you're not comfortable sharing or you're busy doing other things, that's totally okay. The important thing is for you to write them down. The important thing is that you can look somewhere. I have a whiteboard right next to me that I look at every day, and that grounds all of my decisions is, can I meet these goals? All right, I'm gonna take a sip of water because we're flying through this, guys. We got this. Membership goal. Yes. So, membership goal might be very different than a product or a single service goal. It might be very different than, it's just you're going to think about different metrics, different engagement things. And so, your marketing might look a little different than if you were selling a one off product or one on one service. So, I love that. This is where I think a lot of marketing folks are going to agree we need to kind of ground ourselves in goals. So here's where I take maybe my more therapist approach and start getting a little like foo-foo is strengths. We all have strengths. And marketing can be confusing and scary and intimidating. And it doesn't have to be that way all the time. And so I love building on the strengths that people have that make you unique, that help you stand out. And ultimately, that's what's going to connect with people and make people want to buy your stuff over maybe someone else. And so if we can find those areas in our business and in our marketing that we're good at, is that going to make us feel better and probably not burn out? Heck yeah, if I'm doing things that I like and that I feel good about, I feel confident in, that imposter syndrome is not going to creep in and I'm not going to be like, oh, great, I have to do this again, or oh, this isn't working and I'm not doing good. No, I'm going to kind of feel like a badass. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I'm going to feel good about myself. And when we're faced with those marketing options, we have to really think about, is this going to fit with my values? A lot of places that I've worked at, it's not that their values were bad or wrong, they just conflicted with mine. And so when I was doing these decisions and doing these responsibilities, they can conflict. And so if we're doing things that we're grounded in, that we're good at, that we enjoy, it's going to come across and it's going to feel a lot more genuine. Also, is it things that you're interested in? I love Instagram videos. I love talking, probably why I could talk for 45 minutes and I'm gonna have to condense myself. I could talk probably for hours. So that's something that I like. So I'm gonna embrace that in my marketing thing. I'm gonna use that and be able to talk to people directly. If I hated talking and having my face on screen, would I recommend having a strategy primarily of videos and YouTube videos? No, that sounds awful. So using your strength, podcasting, yes, if you can talk, sharing your stories, going on maybe tangents sometimes, like I can do, but it connects with people and it feels so much better than maybe typing something out or posting a random picture where you can't elaborate on it. Neither of those are bad. You have to do what fits well with you and what you're interested in. Also, our characteristics and our personality. Some people are more extroverted, some people are more introverted. I don't want you to fit your box and try to fit in someone else's peg. So, there's going to be amazing opportunities if you're more introverted, if you're more social justice oriented, if you're more of a team person. There's marketing options for all of those. I want you to find what fits with you. And I kind of already went through this, so I'm going to push through this one. But just burnout can happen if any of those things aren't really being attended to because we're not finding joy, we're dreading it, we're just not getting to use all of ourselves. It doesn't feel good. So if you're comfortable, I'd love to hear what strengths you add to your business. Again, the important thing is that you write them down for yourself. But I always love hearing strengths because I like to cheer people on. And lastly, I want us to find joy. Even in marketing, I know, like for us who are like, I don't like the marketing, it feels gross, it's not fun for me. I want us to find joy in it. More importantly, I do want you to find joy outside of it, and that's a huge key to prevent burnout as well. But really, can we find things that we enjoy to do and incorporate that into our work? I love midday walks. And so, what do? Is I hop on Instagram and I share a little video of me doing a mental health walk. It takes maybe 5 seconds. I am doing something I enjoy and I get to connect with my audience. I share a lot of videos of me with my cat because I enjoy my cat. And so it's just things that feel good. How can I add that to my work and connect that with people? Sharing your wins. You work hard. Being an entrepreneur takes so many risks and vulnerability and sacrifices and hard work that I want you to celebrate yourself. Maybe that means with your audience. You know, I celebrate my 1 year or my like anniversary of my business every year, and I thank my audience for being a part of it. Maybe you go out with your friends or your family, or you treat yourself to a favorite beverage. You work your butt off. I want you to feel good and confident in the work that you're doing, and that's gonna keep burnout way at bay. And then doing things outside of work as well. I think as small business owners, we can get wrapped up in like this becomes our identity because it's so much of our livelihood and like our bills need to be paid and we have to do all these and it's up to us. We do have an identity outside of this. And even if you're in a season where you really need to lean into work, I totally understand that. Find those little moments. So even if you can go stand outside for a little bit and take a few deep breaths, or tell yourself a good mantra, or read a page of a book, or go for a small walk, or pet your animal, I don't care what it is. Do something for yourself. And so, quickly, if you can, share or write down what brings you joy. I know joy can kind of seem like a silly word. I just want to take a note here because I've had clients kind of roll their eyes at me and they're like, that sounds so cliche, Alicia. Like, I'm not a child. But we lose that as adults sometimes. And with burnout, as we get so sucked into the hustle and bustle of responsibilities and life, that I want you to experience that joy and connect with that playfulness and that tenderness. Ooh, meeting new people. Yes. Oh, my cup gets filled too. I like hosted like a monthly little like social network thing. And I'm just like, I always leave like smiling and happy. And it's just, that's the joy that we experience. And dogs. Yes. I'm a cat. I'm an all animal person, but I have a cat right now. So I'm going to briefly just go through this one, but it's how do we put it all together? So the purpose of this is to help you with content marketing. And so anytime you're faced with a new decision or a strategy evaluation, I want you to think, is this really going to help me meet my goals? Is this going to help me grow my membership? Is this going to help me engage with my audience? Is this going to help me meet new people? If yes, yay, that sounds like that could be maybe worth some of that time and energy. Is it going to work for you? Does it bring dread, or are you kind of like excited by a new challenge? Does it fit for your audience and your business? Do you have the time, energy, and space to do that? Is it using a strength that you have, or is it an exciting challenge that you want to lean into? And is it something that you can enjoy? Or I say tolerate, because sometimes there's just things in our business that we don't like, and that's okay. I'm not an all sunshine and rainbows person, but can you do it minimally then? And just tolerate it, because there's going to be parts of our job that are going to be stressful, but I want those to be the far and few in between rather than the norm every day. So if it's every day, we feel that dread, guess what? I'm not going to be motivated to get this project done. I'm not going to be excited. My audience is going to feel it. So this, I'm just going to quickly go through this, but it's basically simplify things. Work smart, not hard is my motto. And that sounds silly saying as like a business owner of like, don't work hard. No, just work smart, work efficiently. Your time and your energy are valuable resources. And so if we can simplify and automate and do other things so you can work hard in the areas that really matter to you, that's what I want for you. So if there's things you can create routines around, automate things, have documents so you can just copy and paste things, that's just using your time wisely. And if there's things that you truly don't like, can we hire someone? You know, if I know I really need to do X whatever strategy and I dread it and I hate it, maybe I'm going to look if it's worth maybe paying someone else so that I can have that time and energy back. And that might be worth the investment. So again, it's just doing what is best for you. And of course, it wouldn't be a burnout chat if we don't talk about self-care. And hear me out, I'm not a believer in that one bubble bath is going to fix all of my world's problems. I know. I hear you, I see you. I'm also a firm believer in that if we take care of ourselves, our brain is going to learn that we matter, that our needs matter, that we can prioritize ourselves sometimes and the world does not come crashing down. And even if it's for a few moments. So I hear you. I also think you can't pour from an empty cup. We cannot pour into our jobs, pour into our families, do all the things without ever refilling us back up. So if you can, take breaks from the things that you don't enjoy. I get it, part of our job, we don't like everything. That's okay. Can we take a vacation? Can we take a break? Can you schedule self-care into your workday? I do my midday walks. So that takes maybe 5 to 15 minutes. So even if I'm working every hour or every minute for 8 hours, can I have a small break for myself? That energizes me. That keeps me going. Can you add self-care tasks to things that you don't enjoy? Can you light a candle when you're doing some paperwork? Can you put on a fun pump up music if you have to like make a call that you don't really want to do? These self-care things can be before, during, or after task. It just means getting creative a little bit. After work routines, I'm a big fan of going from a work brain to a home brain. That can be anything from a 30-second closing your computer, putting new clothes on, I don't care what it is, to driving, having a playlist, going for a walk, doing a workout. I don't care what it is, but our brain learns eventually, okay, I'm gonna leave work at work. Know your burnout signs, and then just ask for help if you need it, because you don't have to do this all alone. Oh my gosh, and I did it. I'm so proud of being able to fly through that in 20 minutes. Thank you guys for just watching the replays and listening here today. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Burnout is a huge passion of mine. And as an entrepreneur and small business owner with content marketing, it can feel overwhelming. You don't have to do it alone. So there's my contact info. And then as a little thank you, I've got a little freebie for you guys. So you can grow your confidence. You can feel free to go there. That imposter syndrome is real. We don't want that. And then if you want half off of a little bit more about content marketing and how to schedule things, you can go there. So yay, we did it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Burnout, ah, it can be sneaky.
Hmm.
It can be sneaky. I went through full burnout at the end of 2020 because I had zero self-care because I mean 2020, right? But I didn't realize that previously I'd been doing something that was smart at the time, but I had a vacation or an extended time off like every
Yeah.
5 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
And when that was taken away, I didn't know. And I'm just go, 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 go.
Yeah. Oh, so real. And yeah, it's so sneaky. That's why that awareness, like it sounds silly, but it's just like know what to do. I get irritable. And so like whenever I
Yeah.
start getting kind of like snappy, my partner's always like, "Hey, are things okay?" And then I kind of look inward and I'm like, "Ooh, no, thank you for that. Like I need to make some changes."
Yeah. Yeah. I know for me, I can look at my husband and see like what you just said. He's irritable, which reminds me, oh, okay, well, what's coming